3.
Hi, I'm Carl Jorgensen, and my project is on dyslexia. And I'm interviewing Jody Norgarden, whose daughter has dyslexia. First question, how and when did you first find out that your daughter had dyslexia?
She was 7 years old when she was officially diagnosed. But I knew that there was something going on probably 2 or 3 years before that, because she was having such a hard time learning to read.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next one. Once you found out, what was done to help correct it?
When I realized there was a reading problem beyond it just being her needing to grow up, I kept talking to her teachers, and I kept talking to other people that I knew that whose children were struggling with reading, and finally I found a tutor who was at the school she was at who worked with kids who had dyslexia, and she met with Caitlin and said, you know, I really think that this is what this might be, you might want to pursue it further. So then I contacted the District 196, they tested Caitlin, and she did not qualify for services through them, she just missed qualifying by 1 point on one test and 2 points on another. But there was clear on all the testing they did that there was definitely a learning disability, because there was such a big discrepancy in this one area of learning, which was her reading. So then we actually had her tested at the Alexander Center that same year, and when she was in 2nd grade, and then they gave us the official diagnosis.
Okay. Good answer. Did your daughter have a more minor or more severe kind of dyslexia, and what made it that way?
Dyslexia is something that you're born with.
Yeah.
So different people have different variations on it, and I can't really tell you for sure, because I don't know other people's, measurement of it. But I think we were fortunate because we caught it so early. That Caitlin got the right help, so it didn't become as severe of a learning difficulty for her as it could have, because we were fortunate enough to find the right educational plan for her. She used a method, we hired a tutor and used a method called Orton Gillingham, which was perfect for her. It was exactly what she needed to use to learn to read. But I know that everybody's form of dyslexia is slightly different in how it affects people, because a lot of people think it's just flipping letters and reading backwards, and it's really not that. Some kids may write backwards or see letters backwards, but it's much, much more than that.
Okay. And how did having dyslexia affect life outside of school?
That's a very good question. Because it's a question that frustrated me, because it was something that people only look at academically.
Yeah.
But when you're born with something like that, or born with a learning disability, it affects how you learn everything. So everything Caitlin learned had to be approached a certain way. She has to take things apart. So if I teach her a new task in the kitchen, or I teach her, or I was to teach her something, to do around the house, I needed to take that into consideration, how she learned. So I had to take and tell her one thing at a time, show her exactly what it was, let her ask questions, and then proceed one step at a time. Because that's how she learns. It's not just how she sees things academically. It's how she learns everything in her life, which is something that people don't always think about. They think it's an academic disability, but it's really how she learns everything she does.
Okay. And does your daughter get more time on tests or more time on other work even in college, or no?
Yes, she does. If she needs it, it's available. One of the things that we did, because I wanted it documented that she had this learning disability, and I actually talked to people, got an attorney, and found out more information about what I could do with the educational system, and she had a 504 in place, which is a little, it's not monitored like an IEP, which is what you might have heard of that before. There's kids that are on IEPs, which means they have a case manager and somebody that helps them out. Well, what the 504 does is it let us put into place all through her educational career, extra time for tests, placement in the class. We always made sure that she was in the front of a classroom. And she could take a test if she needed to in a quiet space, because distractions really she couldn't do that. Sometimes as she got older, she would sometimes get notes from kids, because it was really hard for her to listen, take notes, and do multitask, do different things. So she would sometimes get the notes from the teacher or from a classmate. And she was even allowed to do that in college. She has been able to get notes from classmates or from the professor. She definitely gets more time if she needs it, and she also was able to register early because she has a diagnosed disability. They let her register for classes early so that she could get the classes that she needs, and she also is not great at getting up in the morning, and she knew that because she doesn't sleep well. So she was able to sign up for classes that were not 8 o'clock classes and that were later in the day.
Okay.
And that's been the other thing that she did, is she did not take heavy class loads in college. So she's going one extra semester. She didn't take, really heavy semesters, so.
Okay, and how does your daughter have to deal with dyslexia even as an adult?
Kind of in what I just said,
Yeah.
one of the things that she's done is she's learned to advocate for herself. If she knows she needs more time on her test, she will ask ahead of time. If she knew that she would not be able to take a heavy class load. I mean, she knew that was not going to be a good thing to do. So she kind of proactively looks at things and measures it out of whether she thinks that she can fit it into her schedule and whether she can handle it. And so she just tries to know up front what's going to happen, what she's signing up for. She also has a job on campus, and so if she knows that a semester is going to be really a difficult semester, she'll just take less hours on her job, because she knows herself. She can't push herself too hard, because she knows that she's not going to be able to handle it. And then she also balanced classes that were heavy reading classes. She would have never taken 3 in a row in a semester. She kind of balanced those classes out too, so she only had one really heavy class with a lot of reading in it per semester. And I think the other thing she's done, Carl, really is the career that she's chosen is a career that allows her strengths to come out. So she's kind of channeled her energy into something that she's good at, and that she can be successful at and help other people. I think that's how she's approached it now, is that it's sort of directed what her career is going to be. It's kind of, she's found her path because of it, I think.
Okay, last question. Does dyslexia run in your family, or has it?
Actually, my brother has it. We suspect my dad had it, but he was never diagnosed. So I'm not sure. But my brother does definitely diagnosed him, and definitely has it.
Okay, that's it.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, great questions. Very, very good.
Great answers.
Yeah.